Deer Creek is a major tributary to the Upper Sacramento River Basin. It's one of the last intact watersheds. That means it doesn't have a major dam. Deer Creek and Mill Creek make up some of the last fully wild spring run populations in the Upper Sacramento River Basin. Spring run Chinook are federally and state listed threatened species, and the most effective way to come up with a final population for spring run is a snorkel survey, which means you get in the creek and swim downstream, counting all the adult salmon you can. It's very challenging. You're dealing with cold water. It's whitewater conditions at times. There's water hazards. Access is really hard. So long hikes, a lot of really rough terrain. So this is an annual survey, and it's the way that we report to the rest of the agencies the total number of fish that survive to spawn each year.
CDFW has had an ongoing monitoring program in Deer Creek for decades. The science on Deer Creek is essential to understanding what's going on with spring run, not only now, but what's going to happen with spring run in the future.
Spring run Chinook have a lot of different life histories. One of the life histories that's pretty common in Deer Creek is the yearling life history. So these fish will stay in Deer Creek and they'll live all year long. And those yearlings will eventually out-migrate, some in the fall and others later in the spring at a pretty good size, much larger than their young of the year ocean type counterparts, which is an advantage in and of itself.
Deer Creek in particular, during the drought conditions, the majority of the population that went out to the ocean and then came back to spawn, those survivors were yearling Chinook. And Deer Creek is one of the few streams left with a natural yearling population that is the dominant form of juveniles. And we're really hopeful that it's going to yield valuable information that we can hopefully apply to all the other spring run tributaries to better understand how we can improve the status of the spring run population.